50% and 56% for CO, NOx, and SO2 respectively for 350. Methods can be hydrogen fuel additive. Uh, the hydrogen is injected in the diesel uh, diesel tank, and so that hydrogen reduces the ignition delay time, and combustion duration of air fuel mixture, and hence it's allow engine work with a lower compression ratio. So it is found that the hydrogen as a fuel additive reduce the emission by the vehicles. So other than these alternative to the diesel engine, the other types of vehicles such as electric battery vehicles can be adopted to control the air pollution. So to conclude, the particular control devices are being used in technology in industries such as cyclone wet scrubber, electrostatic precipitator, out of which the electrostatic precipitator is the most advantageous method, and it is widely applied. The traditional method we use absorption and condensation instead to control the photons emitted from the special sources. Some disadvantages, including high cost and the efficiency, so that so they should be modified or replaced with a new technology. And also the current vehicle types such as petrol and diesel engine should be replaced with the electric battery or solar type of uh, type of vehicle to control the air pollution. Thank you.
How will you define pollution?
Yes, sir.
How will you define?
Hello,
How will you define pollution?
sir. It is air pollution,
No, any
normal
pollution.
pollution.
What is
Sir, any pollution is a higher concentration of uh, foreign matter in that particular sources.
present?
In air pollution, this can be higher concentration of gases, dust, and other.
How will you select?
Hello,
How will you select the method to control the pollution, air pollution?
hello, sir.
What what are the parameters you have to assume first for selecting the mechanism of air pollution for controlling the air pollution?
The type of air pollutants means when there is a particular type of air pollutant, there is a uh, uh, there is a different type of devices can be used. When there is a gaseous, then there is a different type of devices which can be
हाँ तो वो कैसे सिलेक्ट करते हो बताओ.
means for example, if there is a gases which are water soluble, or any which are soluble in any of the solvent, so we can use the scrubbers, and so like that other type of devices can be used.
So how cyclone separator work?
Yes, sir.
How cyclone separator work?
So sir, it works on the principle of centrifugal
Topic of my seminar is biomimicry.
Force.
centrifugal force, and
Yeah.
when the gas stream enters into the separator with high speed, it
What is
it
the and centrifugal.
Sorry, sir.
What is the meaning of centrifugal force?
Sir, it is a type of force which acts outwards in direction
Okay.
from the center.
This force is centripetal.
Yes, sir.
Outward direction.
Hello.
आउटवर्ड
Yes.
डायरेक्शन में फ्लो रहेगा तो
Hello.
Okay, what will be the ratio of inlet and outlet pipe of cyclone separator?
Inlet and outlet means, sir.
The gas inlet and
Huh?
gas outlet, right? There are two, one inlet and one outlet.
Yes,
So
sir.
what?
Hello.
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 The outlet pipe should be below the inlet pipe or above the inlet pipe?
Uh, Above the inlet pipe.
Above. Why?
Sir, we are operating gas, so gas move upward, so the outlet
What
pipe
will
should
happen
be up.
if? What will happen if the outlet pipe is below the inlet?
Um, there is sir, the clean gas gets accumulated within the cycle
Within the pipe.
and get
Are you
mixed
sure?
with the uh, polluted gas.
Are you sure? Just check it. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So next candidate,
Yes, sir.
Vedant.
Yes.
मानस सर को कुछ क्वेश्चन है
Good morning, respected faculty members and dear friends. Topic of my seminar is Biomimicry, Nature-Inspired Design. It was guided by Professor R.P. Birmud. So today we will learn about what is biomimicry, its principles, methodologies, different approaches to design, relationship between nature and engineering, and how they are exactly correlated. We'll learn about ideal design of a process, and then we'll look after some examples between biomimicry and engineering. So what is biomimicry? Biomimicry is a word derived from Greek bios mimesis, where bios means life and mimesis means to imitate. So biomimicry is an interdisciplinary approach to solve design challenges. Engineers, designers and architects work with biologists and ecologists to understand and emulate natural forms, process and ecosystem. Now a question might strike that why should we follow nature and what is the need? So it is because if we clock the total time of Earth's existence to 24 hours, then humans have lived on Earth for mere 3.7 seconds, and nature has been existing for billions of years. It has gone under small and big steps of evolution and adaptation with respect to atmosphere, biosphere, and the entire ecosystem. So life started with just a single cellular organism, and now which has evolved into multicellular complex organism with multiple tissues and organs. So I would like to quote here, nature is what it is because it needs to be that way. It is because nature has gone under billions of years of permutation and combination to evolve and adapt every species by natural selection, such as let us take a Christmas tree. It is shaped as a canopy because it is adapted to drop down the snow from its branches. Now, in a chemical engineering point of view, life processes are proof that chemistry can occur under mild, life-friendly conditions with an impressive degree of efficiency, selectivity, chemical yield, purity, end of life, and reuse, such as photosynthesis. It's such a complex reaction, but it occurs in just a few millimeter thick leaf. That too without any waste, pollution, or any complex problems such as global warming. Labs around the world are trying to create an artificial leaf that turns photons into fuel, mimicking the water splitting and CO2 reducing parts of photosynthesis. So there are three M's of biomimicry. It is model, measure, and mentor. Nature as a model, we have to consider nature as a model for every process and take inspiration to design to solve man-made problems, such as solar cells were inspired by the structure of leaves and its ability to grab sunlight. Second is nature as a measure. Nature as a measure to judge the correctness of our innovation. Because after 3.8 billion years of evolution, nature has learned what works, what is appropriate, and what lasts. Thirdly, nature as a mentor. We all have a mentor in our lives who knows the solution to every problem. Similarly, we should consider nature as a mentor to solve all the design problems. Now let's move forward towards the biomimicry methodology. The first step is to identify the real challenge, which is the scope of work, its inputs and outputs. We should ask ourselves, like, what is the core problem? What functions do we need to accomplish? And what do you want our design to do and why? Secondly, we have to interpret the design, that is, identify external factors influencing our design and interpret it to how nature would do this function and how nature would also not do that function. Keeping in mind the climatic, nutrient, social, and temporal condition, we should identify our limitation and boundaries. Third is discover. We should discover the available technologies, and now out of many examples available in nature, we should select the few champion example which suits the best to our habitat, and we should brainstorm with biologists regarding it. Fourth is abstract, to create a layout based on our basis of design in context to skilled labor, access to chemical, climate effect, land availability, and budget constraint. Fifth is emulate. When we conceptualize our design, we then move forward toward equipment selection, process flow diagram, equipment sizing, and cost estimates. But in biomimicry, we should apply the lesson learned from nature, mimic its form, function, and ecosystem. Next step is to evaluate our model with respect to environmental compliances, reliability, social impacts, and operating costs, and also evaluate it against our life principle. So now there are two approaches to how do we move forward in biomimicry. One is top down approach and second is bottom up approach. So in top down approach, we first identify any design problem, then search for relevant biological analogies, and then identify appropriate principles and to see whether they are applicable in our model, and then do testing, analysis, take feedback, improvise our design, and present the solution. For example, let's take a problem of biofilm. Like biofilm is a complex, what to say, complex community of microbes or bacteria which forms over a surface if it is left unattended in humid condition. Over 80% of bacterial infection in humans are because of biofilms. around $30.5 billion are spent excess in healthcare to solve bacterial problems. And additionally, in marine industry suffers a lot due to biofilm formation over the hull of the boats and ships. It causes 20% drag to the movement of the ship. So overall, it costs $5.7 billion annually to prevent this. So here, the biological analogies we have observed is from shark. This is shark skin. Shark skin, they have denticles which are arranged in a diamond pattern with tiny riblets. It was found that it produced a surface that would discourage microbes from settling because the width to height ratio of riblets were responsible for this. Hence, based on the biological principle, this was mimicked to form a similar surface with width to width ratio of each riblet of 16 microns. Then this surface was tested along with a smooth surface under similar condition, and it was found that on day 0, a smooth surface had 1% of bacterial presence and the sharklet surface has 0% of bacterial presence. Then progressively around day 7, the bacterial presence on smooth surface was 22% and on sharklet surface it was just 4%. And around 14 days there was a biofilm formed on the smooth surface, but sharklet surface there was no biofilm formed. Now let's move towards the bottom up approach. This is same as forward approach but just in a reverse manner. Here we start from biological research, draw out function, understand its principle, check the applicability, test, improvise, and then design the solution. One such example is of Undula Tech. Here is a cattlefish whose fin motion is in undulation fin motion. This was mimicked. This was mimicked to form a renewable energy generator. It can be used as a windmill or vertical buildings where the fins would move and hence the rotor would move and electricity would be generated. Also, it can be used as a hydroelectricity generation in rivers and can be installed right in between of rivers. Now let's understand the principles of life and its engineering relationship and in which areas can we develop nature-like characteristics in engineering discipline. First is life develops from bottom up. It refers to the life's ability to assemble materials and structures which individual fundamental building blocks. Like life began from a unicellular to multicellular organism. And the engineering related field is additive manufacturing. That is build everything from small level then to develop it into complex level. The best example of additive manufacturing is 3D printing. And second is life fits form to function. It refers to the use of limited materials and energy to create and execute process necessary to function. Here comes the theory of Lean and Six Sigma, that is Yoshikawa's general design theory. General design theory is a mathematical theory of design that gives minimum manufacturing resources to manufacture any product. And third is life dependence on water. We humans are made up of water by 70%, which emphasizes the dominance of water in our life as a solvent and also as a working fluid for transport phenomena. Hence comes the role of green chemistry and fluid dynamics. The capillary tube we use in labs is also inspired from the root system in plants. Fourth is life is cyclic and it recycles. It refers to the day and night cycles, season, water cycle and nitrogen cycle. Nature recycles everything it produces. It is also interconnected that waste of one is the raw material of the others. It refers to the decomposition and reuse of organic matter. In engineering, we don't recycle every waste we produce, but still there are concepts of remanufacturing design of disassembly. And fifth is life is socially attuned and resourceful. It highlights life's ability to utilize materials and energy available within its range of influence. In engineering, it refers to the interdependence of stakeholders. That is, manufacturing anything we need, it needs a lot of parts which are manufactured individually in different factories and then assembled at one place. Sixth is life adapts and evolves. Adaptation refers to the behavioral and material changes organisms make within a period of lifetime. But evolution refers to the slower, fundamental genetic changes which occurs over the course of many generations. In engineering, this is looked after by control system and the robustness of the system to work out at different parameters. Seventh, life is a cooperative framework. It refers to the nature's ability to coexist within a cooperative framework and refers to the diverse web of interaction that maintains the biosphere. Next is nature inspired process or product and the design of a process. Nature prevents waste by functioning tailored materials which reduces the need for over designed components and increases sustainability. Suppose we mine resources from our environment, then the material is processed, then the product is manufactured, then distribution, then the product is used, the service, then the demanufacturing process. Like if we take the product back, then can I do like some minor changes and then again distribute, then again send it to distribution and then again it will be used? Or can I send it to product demanufacturing and then send to product manufacturing and with some changes can I again make it into that cycle? Or by demanufacturing into a material processing center and then again manufacturing it for use. Or just simple material demanufacture like done in thermoplastics which is reused and then product is again manufactured. Or just disposal back to the environment. Now we'll move forward to a biomimicry and its products and design. Biosignals, that is seaweed inspired biofilm resistant coating. This is Dicelia pulchra, which is underwater red seaweed. Bio- when this seaweed is attacked by bacteria, it releases molecules known as furanones, which blocks the bacterial signaling molecule, that is N-acyl homosane lactone, which induces the surface colonization message. Hence, the bacteria is not able to transfer the message of colonizing, and hence there is no biofilm formation. This can be used on in marine anti-fouling field and can be used at the bottom of the hulk of ships, such as this was a marine anti-fouling field trial of biofilm where the anti-fouling molecule was applied on the subject, and we can see like after a period of time there was very little biofilm presence on the subject. Next is mussel shell inspired superglue. Blue mussels are the bivalves that attach to the rock in a wave battered intertidal seashores. Our current adhesives are terrible at wet bonding, yet marine biology solved this eons ago. They they are attached to the rocks by a strings. These, fi- these fibers were then studied and it was found that lysine protein was responsible for cohesion and dopa protein was responsible for surface adhesion. And this was mimicked by scientists to form adhesive which is 17 times stronger and replaces 47 million pounds of formaldehyde based adhesive annually. And formaldehyde is a carcinogenic. Next, next is Mossel's inspired control of mineral scaling in boilers. Scaling is a big problem in boilers because the CaCO3 layer uh, is sticked on the boiler walls and it decreases its efficiency. This is molluscus. Its structure is spiral and it is made up of calcium carbonate. The development of shell occurs only when it is needed and in required proportion. When molluscus does not require shell growth, the scaling stops by a simple stop protein, which is known as TPA. TPA is thermal polyaspartic acid. Hence, this was mimicked to stop scaling due to CaCO3. Like and also calcium sulfate, barium sulfate, and prevents corrosion of metals. Such as here we can see there is a scale in this tube, and when we add 1 ppm of TPA, the scales are removed, and at 2 ppm of TPA, the scales are entirely gone. So there are two forms of this polymer. One is low molecular weight, other is high molecular weight. We use low molecular weight for hard water environments and corrosion inhibitor, whereas high molecular weight biopolymers are used for clay soil removal and inorganic scale removal. Now, this organism is called trigrade. It is a eukaryotic extremophile, and these molecules can live around 120 years by a process called anhydrobiosis, in which is means life without use of water. This method was mimicked and used to preserve DNA, RNA, proteins, membranes, and cellular system, and it can be simply revived by simple rehydration. Thus, it forms a thermostable barrier securing across nucleic acid to provide protection against degradation. Hence, it saves around $20 million annually in refrigeration of biological samples. Next, we have is Aquaporin based desalination membrane. Aquaporin is a membrane which is present in cell which is responsible for water transfer from cell to cell, and it has the ability to stop any other molecules such as DNA, RNA, or cytoplasm molecules from cell to cell. This membrane is highly selective and lets only H2O water molecule pass and rejects any other essential matter. This was mimicked to form a desalination membrane to filter water from the saline water. And the remarkable feature of it is that the H2O water permeability is 10 to the power 9 water molecules per second. This is a promising low energy effective alternative to desalination and industrial water treatment, etc. Next is photosynthesis inspired catalyst for polycarbonate polymers. In photosynthesis, there are two reactions. One is light dependent and another is happen in dark. The reaction which happens in dark is happening at a strata. This works by a process called Calvin cycle in which carbon bond is broken. This technology was mimicked to form polycarbonate monomers with limestone to produce polymonomer, and it can be used as a polymer to produce plastic, coatings, and absorbent. So, moving towards the conclusion, biomimicry has a lot to offer, and it is systematic, versatile, and based on fundamental mechanism rather on superficial analogies. It uses the basis of the working of biology, and it takes that principle and use it in any other design basis. There are several such philosophies such as the natural step, biomimicry, getting to zero waste, and green chemistry, etc. Hence, the holistic approach to biomimicry in engineering attempts to identify the principle responsible for this inherent environmental sustainability and to translate them into concepts valuable to engineering. With these steps, however tentative, we begin the journey towards biomimicry for sustainable engineering. These are my references. Thank you.
Vedant, can you identify any chemical engineering application of this biomimicry?
Yes, sir. One which is used for scaling prevention in boilers, and it can also act
Okay,
as a anti-corrosive agent. Yes, sir.
how you can apply this biomimicry in anti-fouling as an anti-fouler?
As a anti-corrosion.
हाँ anti-fouling agent या फिर anti-corrosion बोलो.
Yes, sir. Like for anti-scaling, we can use a principle by the molluscus, which uses a protein called TPA, which signals the CaCO3 to not deposit, to be not released.
Vedanta,
Yes, sir.
hello. Ah, you said that some chemical process. Can you relate this application with chemical engineering with specific application?
Sir, one which is used for to sequestrate carbon dioxide and to use it as a to produce a monomer, polycarbonate monomer. It can be used
Okay,
in polymer industries.
polymer industry.
Yes, sir.
Any other process industry?
ऐसे मिमिक्री का पॉलीमर पॉलीमर से मिमिक्री का क्या कैसे आया?
सर जैसे फोटोसिंथेसिस में कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड का बॉन्ड ब्रेक होता है, हम सिर्फ कार्बन होके फिर कार्बोहाइड्रेट बनते हैं। वैसे ही इन्होंने इनका ये पेटेंटेड एक नोवोमर कैटलिस्ट है, जो कि ये प्रोसेस करता है और उसको डायरेक्ट पॉलीकार्बोनेट मोनोमर बना देता है।
Can you tell about the economical feasibility for this
सो फॉर दिस पर्टिकुलर एग्जांपल और
with particular example? Just explain feasibility of this by in terms of economics.
okay, sir. Sir, one example which I have given is of Shark Tank, which uses a developed surface which does not causes biofilming. So this surface can be used at the bottom of ships, submarines, or any other water-based vehicle, which will not cause corrosion or any other biofilming on its surface, and hence it is economical. Because
One more
biofilming
thing.
causes a drag,
One
and
more thing.
yes, yes,
Suppose at seashore, your generally wind farm is installed, right? Wind
yes,
farm is there at
yes, a wind
seashore,
farm.
and you are getting some moist air with some salty environment, right?
Right,
In
sir.
that corrosion problem is more there, right?
Yes,
And
yes.
due to that failure of windmill is possible. So how you can apply your this what you can say mimicry approaches for avoiding you can say corrosion in such you can say blade, right? Wind
Yes,
blade.
sir. So like corrosion, basically it happens because because of humidity and water presence, and it reacts
Hmm.
with the metallic surface to form rust. So if we use this
Ah,
surface, then there is no question of the water staying on the windmill surface, and hence like
so
there would be no.
is it you can say hydrophobic material, something called as
Uh, Sir, because the distance between each rivets is very small. It is 16 microns. So
uh,
and we can use a material which does not let water stay on the surface.
so that's why I'm saying is it hydrophobic?
So hydrophobic,
Do you know what is hydrophobic?
yes, sir, the water repellent.
So is it possible there?
So it can be developed. It can be developed.
Can be or are you sure for that?
Yes, sir, it can be definitely developed. And I'm not exactly sure if sharklet has that feature, but because I think the difference between the each riblet is 16 micron, then the water
Mhm.
molecule will not stay on that surface. Or even if it stays
So do
there,
you think that means
it will be erased.
size matters there?
Yes, sir.
Size of this material matters there on repellent of these water molecules? You're saying 60 micron, 16 something, so you have called, right?
Yes, sir, 16 micron. Right.
So do you think 16 micron repels, or if I go reducing this size, is it possible to repel that water molecule?
Mm. So we'll have to see about the surface tension of the surface then to be exactly sure
Mm,
about it.
okay.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
right. So thank you.
Thank you, sir.
कोण राहिलं का बघू?
अरे आजचे सगळे कॅन्डिडेट संपले.
हा ते दोघ जण मला वाटतं प्रॉब्लेम होते. हॅलो
ठीक आहे,
गौरव
आपण
छाबरा आणि
संपवतो मग.
भंडारी हे दोघं प्रॉब्लेम आहेत त्यांचे काय तर.
हा,
ठीक
ठीक आहे.
आहे.
सी ऑन टुमॉरो.
तुझ्या घरात कोविड सापडले बरेचसे. गौरव छाबरा. गौरव छाबरा आहे का बिझनेसवाला? बिझनेसवाला छाबरा आणि मल्हारी पण आजारी.
हो डबल लेवल आहे बढिया. नाही आता याच्यात डिफरन्स करायची गरजच नाही. जुना मला तर ते मग 1400 रुपये कमी झाले. हो ते आपलं खराबच झाला. नाही अजून अरे हो मस्त गाडी आहे ती.